Apple has just released the iOS 18.4 software update, and sadly it doesn't come with the smarter and more capable Siri that has been teased since last year. We now know that this anticipated release will actually be delayed to 2026. So what actual features do we get with iOS 18.4? First things first, if you haven't already received the update, make sure to check if it's already available for your iPhone by going to Settings, General Software Update and refreshing the page. On our end, the update weighed in at 7.8 gigabytes, which took a while to download. As usual with iOS updates, nothing will immediately strike you as brand new after you update your phone. You will only find the new stuff if you know where to look. One of the new features you get on devices that support Apple Intelligence is priority notifications, which allows your iPhone to show you notifications deemed important in a separate area of the lock screen. By default, this feature is disabled, so you need to explicitly turn it on, and in the same menu you can choose which apps can show you prioritized notifications. The App Store got an AI update, kind of. You can see summaries of app reviews now. You know how on Amazon you see summaries of the general sentiment of hundreds and hundreds of user reviews? It's kind of useful, but I do always prefer to dive in and check some of them out myself. Next up, we have a kind of big update to how large App Store notifications are handled. With iOS 18.4, you can pause app downloads straight from their App Store page, whereas previously you could only stop the download completely. There is now a convenient resume button that lets you continue the app download at a later time. In older iOS versions, you could pause app and game downloads by going to your home screen, but the new implementation is a bit more convenient and intuitive. It makes sense. Another new feature concerns visual intelligence, which can now be triggered with the customizable action button. Normally, it only worked with the camera control button. Yes, this also means that older Apple Intelligence capable iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max now also support the visual intelligence tool, which can help you learn more about your surroundings. Speaking of Apple Intelligence, iOS 18.4 now lets you add useful control center toggles to quickly access specific features like Talk to Siri, Type to Siri, and Visual Intelligence itself. Those are mostly redundant, as you can trigger either of those features in other ways, but we appreciate the fact that we are given those personalization capabilities. Some other additions to the control center include two arrow indicators to the focus mode switch. These provide visual aid that this is actually a button that provides extra options when tapped. When changing the volume and display brightness in the control center, going below the level of the icons will turn them monochrome, but once you swipe up, the icons will turn back to colored ones, which is a cool little visual thing. When typing to Siri and submitting a query, the keyboard will now collapse, providing you with a cleaner interface. To bring back the keyboard, you just have to tap the tiny text box at the bottom of the screen and type a follow-up to Siri or ChatGPT's response. We are slightly on the fence about this change. It provides a more aesthetic appearance, but slightly hurts the overall usability by forcing you to go through one extra tap on a small field. If you're a fan of Image Playground, are there fans of Image Playground? iOS 18.4 has something cool in store for you. There's a new sketch image style that you can make use of. This one emulates the look of a colored pencil drawing, kinda, sorta, and in our opinion, this provides the best results compared to the previously available animation and illustration modes. It's just more fleshed out and looks like something you might actually find useful. The Photos app, which got a major but controversial redesign with iOS 18, has scored a few quality of life changes. You now have access to a couple of extra filter views. The first one allows you to only show photos and videos that have been shared to you through iMessage or AirDrop. The second one lets you view all items that have not been added to an album. That was a mouthful. Two new widget views are now available for the Podcasts app, which can now display shows and library widgets. Multiple sizes are available, of course, for each one. The shows one will let you view the specific episodes of your favorite podcast, while the library one gives you access to saved episodes. We've got a couple of new emojis available with iOS 18.4, including a sleep-deprived emoji with bags under its eyes. Is it me? That properly depicts 2025 for many people, as well as a fingerprint emoji, a rude vegetable, a harp, splatter, and a barren tree. The Safari browser will now display your most recent searches when you open up a new tab. You can delete an individual or all of your recent searches at once. Hopefully you can also set it to do that automatically. This display of search history can totally be disabled. Good call. Apple News Plus is now updated with a food section where you will get recipes from premium publications to up your gourmet game. Finally, iOS 18.4 provides access to 4 ambient music categories: sleep, chill, well-being, and productivity. You can add any of those as separate toggles to Control Center. Tapping either one will play a selection of sounds and music belonging to the, particular category. You can skip or pause the ambient music by tapping the Now Playing widget in the Control Center or your dynamic island. Here's a brief demo of how these sound. What do you think? Do you feel relaxed or more productive after those clips? I don't know. So those were the most interesting new features that arrive on your iPhone with iOS 18.4. We were definitely expecting just a little bit more, especially given Apple's major teases and promises about Siri, but we'll have to hold our breath for at least another year. I can't hold my breath that long, come on. I've been Pressed, thanks for watching. Like, sub, all of the nice things, or some bad things. Bye!